I think it's pretty evident that that first month is super important for not only the agency, but also the client account manager to really get in there, find their groove, learn the ins and outs of the agency, and really set themselves up for success.
Welcome to the Happy Clients Podcast, brought to you by Dot & Company. Whether you're a virtual assistant, an agency owner, or a client-facing account manager, we all deal with clients. Lucky for you, client management is what we do best. Now, let's dig in, chat cam life, and have some fun along the way. Cheers to happy clients.
So on today's episode, I, Taylor, am going to be interviewing Miss Katie, our agency director over here at Dot & Company, who is the one who works directly with our agency partners as well as our client account managers. And she's going to fill us in on what to expect in your first month of hiring a client account manager into your agency. Probably one of the FAQs that we get the most. So Katie, welcome to my podcast.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be here. So I can tell you my role, and I did want to just lean into our process a little bit too, but yeah, it starts from my role as agency director. So I pick up where Taylor leaves off. Taylor and our sales team have a really great process in terms of getting these really awesome agencies and syncing them up, matching them with client account managers. And then I continue that relationship, which is really cool. So I'm seeing both sides of every agency, the CAM and the agency owner, which is awesome and really fun. Not only for me, I like to learn from agency and what they're doing, and then I can kind of see what CAMs are doing inside the agency as well. So it's a win-win for sure. We've actually set up some really great processes, and they all are happening in that first month. And it really has streamlined not only the happiness on the agency side, because I think they do like these touch points, they like the ease of it, but it also helps us really learn the agency too. I know it always helps me. I'm referring back to these sort of feedback forms and agency portals, and I want to know their clients. So it's really fun for us to see those come through as well. So after everything's signed and matches are made, we give our agencies this lovely agency portal, which is kind of 1, 2, 3, 4 steps of what to do next. So, you signed on, you're excited about your client account manager. And then these are all the different sort of things to do, from getting an email set up, getting, access to everything inside of their business manager and all that kind of G drives, everything set up on that end. And then also kind of these really cool assessments of not only the agency, but the clients as well.
Yeah. The agency homework, which is really the KPIs for the agency. So we want to know how we can do a really good job. So we want to understand where they're at before we start working together. So I really love to see that. It's just like where the agency's at, what their goals are, and how we can really help best serve them so they can scale up their agency.
And it's such a great reference point too, right? Like we go back and we look at those. Are we sort of delivering on what they want to do? Do agency owners want more time dedicated to sales? Do they want more time dedicated to creative? There's a whole bunch of different reasons why people come to us. And I think it's important for us to know that so we can really deliver and have the client account manager really in the know of the goal of working together.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now that the CAM has access inside the agency and they're set up for success, what happens next?
So we're given access and we have email set up and all the homework has come through, KPIs and all that good stuff. The first 2 weeks for sure and the first month are really about gaining insight and asking all the questions and sifting through the SOPs and creating new SOPs and really leaning in on the information that the agency has, and then kind of developing maybe more streamlined processes in the meantime. So it's all about gaining insight and learning about the clients and the agency, how they work, what the expectations are from the clients. Every agency does kind of work a little bit differently. So it is good for us to give that time that is dedicated to learning the agency. So it's all about setting us up for success.
Yeah. And I think the biggest thing that we need to hit home is that there's a learning curve when you start any job. And it's the same for us. We have to learn the agency. It's not like we come ready to go in your business. We have to learn, and that takes
Mhm.
time, generally in the first month. So yeah.
Like there's fundamentals and there's tools in our toolbox. And that's what's great about Dot & Company client account managers is that they have really great resources and a team behind them if they have questions, plus they know the right questions to ask your team. So it's a really great time to lean in and absorb and then apply all those really great Dot & Company tools and tricks.
Awesome. Okay. So Katie, then of course, the good stuff starts to happen is when the client account manager starts to talk to clients and starts to take over that piece. So how does that transition?
Yeah, I think there's always sort of a shadowing piece to this, right? Where CAMs will sit on maybe 1 or 2 meetings before handing it all over to your client account manager, right? So you're sitting in, you're taking notes, you're seeing the flow of the meetings, what the client might be asking, sort of meeting the clients and gaining some knowledge in that relationship. We can definitely set up meetings. We have templates for everything and make sure that there's scripts and speaking notes. So we take that and apply it inside the meetings once we're comfortable taking them over. And I say we, but it's really the CAM and the agency owner. And I would say there's a period where the CAM will sit in on the meeting and really see how it goes and then take over. And definitely in that first month, you'll see a client account manager really take over those communications and put it back on their plate and away from agency owners, which is usually the goal.
Mm-hmm. And so obviously the CAM has a lot of questions inside the agency, but also the agency owner might have a lot of questions for the client account manager of, are we doing a good job? Should we be building SOPs like this? Can we change the project management software? And that's also another layer of time that takes, because once you're working in an agency, it takes time to learn the processes, and it takes some time to really like figure out where there might be holes or where things are falling through so that we can help optimize those processes. So Katie, what happens after the first month? So like we've been working with the agency for almost a month. What happens after that? And where do you see the CAM kind of blossom from there?
Yeah, so I think that first month is really important. There will be forms that agencies are getting from me, feedback forms where they're letting me know how that first month is going. And I'm working with the CAM to make sure that kind of that first month, that grace period or that important time is used to best, facilitate the needs of the agency. So make sure we're on track and we're actually delivering on what the agency needs. So those feedback forms are so important. And we send those out in the first month, get back. I start working with the CAMs. Usually it's all great news. People are so excited to have a client account manager on their team and already seeing improvements. Then we continue the process. So that's month 2, where that transition is really being more on the CAM side. They are taking charge. They are in project management software. They're making sure tasks are assigned, things are running on timelines and deadlines, and that also, meeting and reporting is going out when it needs to. And you have enough sort of information about the client and the agency to really take charge of those situations, whether it be meetings, reporting. I think project management is huge, and sometimes even internal management as well. So knowing the resources, who to go to get answers, and having that knowledge to really deliver on the next phase, which I feel like month 2 is all about transition and really owning it for the client account manager.
Yeah, everything takes time, but after that first month is where we really like see things flowing. Hey.
Yeah, totally. I think it's important to have that month. It does just get the CAM kind of positioned, they're in the agency now, they're part of the team, people know who they are. And that's when month 2 is so important, because they can take the reins and be responsible for so much. And then kind of, I feel like month 3 is that sweet spot where you see all of the communication over on the client account manager. Usually they're trusting from day one, but you just know that the client account manager has it. As the agency owner can just lean on them completely. And that's when we see the growth happen, and the client account manager being the touch point, the person for clients to talk to, and also the internal team as well, having the answers and being just like a kind of guru for the agency.
Mm-hmm. Well, there you go. Katie, thank you very much for that insight. I think it's pretty evident that that first month is super important for not only the agency, but also the client account manager to really get in there, find their groove, learn the ins and outs of the agency, and really set themselves up for success.
Yeah. And just sort of the last point I'll make too is that month is so important. That first month, it's really setting you up for success. It's really positioning the client account manager as the person for clients to go to. And I think for this sort of model to be successful, having a really strong first month where, all the questions are asked and you have all the information sets you up for just long-term success, and clients can really understand what's happening in the business and who to go to. And it's the client account manager, not the agency owner.
That's right. It's the dream.
It's the dream.
Well, thank you all for listening in to another episode of the Happy Clients podcast. We will see you on the next one.
Cheers to happy clients.